this morning. Some interesting comments from Pope Francis recently. He was on a plane ride back from Brazil on his way back to Rome, and he was speaking to some reporters and speaking openly about homosexuals and his feelings about it. And basically he said, I want to read his quote. He basically said, "Who am I to judge a gay person?" He says, "Who am I to judge a gay person of goodwill who seeks the Lord? You can't marginalize these people." So I really think, so many people are supporting him, and then there is a whole other group of people that are shocked at his comments because they kind of go against everything that the church has always preached. And
I think the people that are going against his comments are the people that give Christians a very hypocritical name, because it's like, and I think he raises a good point. Like, if you're somebody who's homosexual and you're seeking the Lord, then like, good for you, and we are happy. And we, as a church, they always say that the church is, welcoming, and that we welcome people in who, want to find whatever. And it's just, and so I think it's hypocritical to think Christians would turn around and go, "Oh, this is so disgusting that the Pope would say this." Well,
and you're going
so
to hell,
you're not going to welcome somebody who wants to seek the Lord into
because
your home?
It's not up to us to judge another.
But we think it is sometimes.
I know, and the number one thing we're called to do is be loving.
Exactly.
That's right.
And
compassionate.
And I think sometimes
I love this Pope.
I do too.
He's called the People's Pope, and I think this is why. And I think so often what some people tend to do is hide behind the Bible as some sort of, it gives them some kind of license to be judgmental or hateful or I really hate that. It just gives me such a bad feeling.
It's a very unique thing because the Bible is supposed to be the Word. And so there are those that take it literally, and that's okay. I mean, we're all looking for a guideline.
Right.
Some kind of discipline guideline that we can follow. And the New Testament and Christ is about loving. It's about loving. If anyone knocks on the door, let them in.
Let them in. That's why I like this new Pope.
And don't judge.
And the Old Testament is more about revenge, and you know what I'm saying? I don't mean all of it, but...
No, I know what you're saying.
I can't even expand on it because I'm I just feel from my heart that we are to be loving to our enemies and we are to forgive. And I think that's the two things we're called to do.
Loving and accepting, and that would include, I think, and especially according to these comments, I think maybe many people in the Catholic Church will rethink their views about maybe about gay marriage. I think that's kind of the next step to his comments, and I would love to know if a reporter asked him about that and what his comments were about that, because
I got in an argument recently with somebody about homosexuality and biblically that it's a sin and whatnot, and we could go into this for hours. And I kind of reverted back to a saying that my mom had always said that was like, love the person and hate the sin. And I think that just really goes to what the Pope says. It's just like, let's love people. And if you are willing to be forgived, or if you're willing to, speak about your indiscretions and about your sinful nature, then we'll love you and we'll accept you. And I wish more people treated Christianity that
I read an interesting article about some religious scholars who got together and wrote this article saying that it actually doesn't say that anywhere in the Bible. And so there are many people who will argue with that, and I don't know because I haven't read it cover to cover and every word of it, but I do find it interesting that some people like to hide behind that and use that as a reason to hate or to judge, and I think, like you said, the whole basis for Christianity, really any religion, is just to be loving.
And yeah, I do too, and I do too. That's it. That's all I'm
I do too.
So it's like, yes, wrap, good job.